I now bring in my friend, distinguished former National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien, about Huawei and the Taiwan-China story. But, Robert, I think, you know, the Journal has alerted us. Huawei has been hobbled, humbled. They're not making any money. Their market is dried up. They're out of the 5G game for all intents and purposes outside of China. And folks aren't even buying their smartphones. And you were an important player in all that. You knocked them off their perch.
Well, you'll recall, Larry, when I took office and came to see you, one of the very first things we talked about was Huawei. And the experts were telling us you can't stop Huawei. They control 5G, or they're going to control 5G all over the world. You can't stop it. You'll have to figure out a way to work around it, do enhanced encryption. But Huawei is going to control 5G. And by controlling 5G, they're going to control every bit of data that goes up to the cloud and down to the cloud. That worldwide, that means your grandma's medical records, your kids' social media, your bank statements, all government information, that would all have traveled on the Huawei 5G backbone, gone up to the cloud, and the Chinese Communist Party would have had access to all of it. And we made the decision, and President Trump directed us to stop it and to make sure that we could. And folks said it couldn't be done, but you and I spent a lot of time on the road, traveling around the world, even during COVID. We spent a lot of time on the phone. The president spent a lot of time on the phone with world leaders, and we got it stopped. And what we did is we protected people's data. We protected their privacy. We protected our government secrets. Just a tremendous accomplishment, something I know you're proud of. I'm proud of, and we had a great team working with us. Secretary Pompeo was involved.
Yeah, Pompeo was great.
On his team.
Pompeo was great. And Pottinger was great.
We had a great team.
Yep. I mean, by stopping Huawei, Robert, we essentially, I won't say stopped, but we sure slowed down China around the world. Because this was a big thing, you know, Huawei was going to lead China, and they're going to run the world, and they're going to run all the phones and all the 5G and 6G. No, not true, not anymore.
They were going to have every single piece of data that went from the Earth up to the cloud would have gone right through the Communist Party of China, and we stopped it, and again, wasn't easy. And everyone said it couldn't be done, but we got it done, and you and your shop were critical to that, Larry. So you know. The American people owe you a debt of gratitude.
Well, and you likewise, and also Pompeo. So let's, now we have this China-Taiwan crisis, 150 flights in their identification zone, and I'm reading in the papers, maybe you can corroborate this and talk to it, there's a couple of dozen special ops forces now on the ground in Taiwan to advise them to have a stronger military. So that's good. I hope they keep building that up. You have outlined the porcupine strategy, the so-called porcupine strategy to stop China. And I'm also reading the CIA has some kind of special China mission center. Now, I wish they had woken up to that earlier, but better late than never. So what's happening here? How big a crisis is this going to be?
Well, number one, Taiwan, our democratic ally, our friends, the geopolitically strategic island in the Pacific, the critical island in the Pacific, is under threat. It's under severe threat. Admiral Davidson, the former commander of Indo-PACOM, has a window. He says once the Beijing Olympics are over, he doesn't think that the Chinese will endanger the Olympic Games, but once that's over, through about 2025, is a period of maximum danger when the Chinese might decide to invade Taiwan. And that would open up the entire Pacific to the PLA Navy. With Taiwan open, the Chinese Navy could flood out in the Pacific, and it could threaten all the second island chain, American territories like Guam and Samoa, our states of Hawaii. I'm out here in California, our West Coast. There'd be no cork in the champagne bottle, so to speak, of the Pacific to deter the Chinese from running rampant. But number two, from an economic point of view, we're going through a terrible supply chain crunch. It's almost impossible to get a new car because of the lack of chips. Most advanced chips, as you know, are made in Taiwan. And we're building some chip factories. Again, that was one of your initiatives and something we supported strongly at the NSC during the Trump administration. Let's get Intel and let's get some of the other big companies to build chip factories in Arizona. If we have to subsidize them, which is normally an anathema to conservatives like you and me, we've got to do it because we have to be able to make the most advanced chips in America. Right now, those are made in Taiwan. Can you imagine if China did to Taiwan what it's done to Hong Kong or Tibet or Western China? took it over, shut down the supply chain, shut down the ability to buy chips, and had that kind of leverage over us, it'd make the Huawei situation look small. So this is a real threat, and it's a real danger to the United States.
You know, you just reminded me, I've got to get Wilbur Ross, former Commerce Secretary, who was very instrumental in all these. I got to get him back on the show to talk about it, because he was a great player. So, Robert O'Brien, in your judgment, are the Bidens being tough enough on this China issue with Taiwan?
Well, look, I think most of the Trump policies have stayed in place, and I think that's a credit to the Biden folks. I think we need to give them credit where credit's due, and they've maintained the Trump policies. We need to make sure that there's no backsliding from those policies, that we remain very strong friends of Taiwan. I saw the newspaper reports like you did, and I want to be careful about how I comment on this. I'm only going to comment on the newspaper reports of these Marines and special operators being in Taiwan. But if those reports are true, Marines are expert in amphibious landings, and so you'd understand why they were there, to help advise the Taiwanese on how to resist an amphibious landing from China. Special operation forces are expert in helping counterinsurgencies and helping native forces stop an attacking force. So those would make sense. We talked about in our op-ed, Alex Gray, my former chief of staff and business partner, who you have on your show regularly, wrote an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal and said, look, we need to get anti-aircraft missiles to the Taiwanese. We need to make sure they've got the anti-ship missiles necessary to protect them, sea strike, sea mines, all things necessary to deter the Chinese, because right now, the Chinese are bullying Taiwan like we haven't seen since maybe Kwame and Matsu back in the late 1950s, early 1960s. And they sent over scores and scores of aircraft, military combat aircraft, to harass the Taiwanese. So Taiwan's under threat. America is a friend to our democratic people around the world, and especially in Taiwan. And we need to continue to be their friend and help them turn into that porcupine to deter the Chinese from doing something that could plunge the world into a war. I mean, that would be a very bad mistake for the Chinese to invade Taiwan. Frankly, it'd be bad for China. So hopefully we want Taiwan to look like so difficult to swallow for the Chinese that they decided it's not worth it, that the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Ambassador Robert O'Brien, thank you. Great narrative.
Great to be with you, Larry.